Okay, so let's talk about video number, what do we got here? This is 176, Introduction to Raycasting. So we're shooting the capsule. Here we can see that, all right, we got our gun active, put the reticle on the capsule, boom. All right, so capsule's hit by the assault rifle. So we can also hit the ground, we can hit other buildings, okay? And if we hit the capsule, he charges us. Now, this time he's going to be close enough to me that he will keep coming because I'm in range of him. But if we back it up, I can get out of range. All right, he'll stop coming at me. Sweet. All right, so that's part one, right? So let's look at how that works. So the player has this attack script, and on update, get button down, fire 1. So this is from the cross-platform input manager, attack target. Weapon, get component in children, weapon. Okay, so this is going to return the first active weapon that is a child of whatever object has the attack. So the attack is on player, so it's going to find the first active child weapon, which is SM weapon, assault rifle by default. Okay, but it might be one of these other ones. If it's inactive, it's not going to return. So this is going to get just the active weapon. Okay, and then we're going to call weapon.attack, which returns a transform of whatever it was that it hit. So the target is whatever was hit with the attack. If the target exists, then see if we can aggro it. And if we can't, then don't do anything. All right, so that's what that does. And then each weapon, in turn, has a script called weapon. And this is fairly complicated down here. But what we do is we've got a prefab for the sound effect, and a buffer, a ring buffer for the sound effect. We grab our camera, then we play the sound effect, and then we hit the target. So hit target does the raycast just like it does in the video, but we return the transform. All right, and the play sound effect, this works like the ring buffer stuff that we were doing in the Realm Rush video. Okay, so we have a max live sound effects count of 10, but it's serialized, so it could be different. If the buffer count is equal to the max live sound effects, okay, then what we do is we DQ a sound effect, set it as inactive. If it's active, then deactivate it. This is so that we can enable it, and because the sound effect plays on enable. Set its position, and then set it active, which is going to play the sound, and enqueue it so it goes back to the back of the queue. Otherwise, what we're going to do, we got to instantiate it. Now, the parent object needs to be this gunshots object. So the weapons parent is weapons, and the weapons parent is main camera. And gunshots is a child of main camera. So we want the parent of the parent find child gunshots. All right, and so that's what we do here. We've got the transform. This is the weapon. The parent, which is weapons. The parent, which is main camera, find gunshots. Okay, and then that's going to be where we want to put all of our gunshot sound effects. Now, the sound effects have to be, they can't be children of the weapons, because if they are and we switch weapons, it'll cut off the sound effect. Okay, and if we put it as a weapon, child of weapon, then we're going to try to swap to it when we're swapping guns. So the gunshot has to be somewhere else. To show you what happens here with the, if we just do this, or here, if we just set the transform, or the parent to the transform from, instead of the parent, we just use the transform. So this is going to put the gunshot as a child of the weapon. I'll show you what happens. Okay. All right, so you see the sound effects are happening, and if I switch, it just stops. And then we have this problem. Okay, so and that was weapon switching. The gunshots were going off with weapon switching, so it's bad. Okay, you don't want to put those on enable things inside of things that are being enabled and disabled all the time, because even though it'll get called when the parent gets enabled, so we don't want to do that. That's why we need to put them in a different game object. All right, but that'll do that, and then I think that covers all the cases there that I want to talk about or need to talk about. I don't know if we looked at, did we look at the one-off script? No, I don't think we did. So here's the one-off sound effects script. It's just got on enable, and this isn't being used anymore. So we get a countdown, which is 0F, and then we grab audio sources. So this is because some of these, like the machine gun has 2 audio sources. So we've got to get all the audio sources, and then we're going to check them all to see what the longest audio source is, and then that is what the countdown is going to be. So then we start a coroutine, which deactivates the sound effect after the sound effect is done playing. Now we could probably pull these audio sources in a start method and cache them. Might not be it. Well, we don't have to cache them. We just have to cache the countdown, which is all we would need. That's probably a better choice than what we did here. But there we go. All right.